Are you a woman over 50 who finds online dating a never-ending cycle of disappointment? Well, you're not alone, but we're going to change that. With this video, we're going to help you discover that you can find love online, even in your prime. Hi there, Maureen Atkinson here, founder of Lifeshiift, an online community that helps you find purpose and adventure, and yes, even romance in later life. Today, I'm excited to introduce Lisa Copeland, love coach and expert on helping women find quality men. Lisa recently shared her wisdom and experience with our Lifeshiift community, and now we're passing that invaluable insights on to you. Her down-to-earth advice will reshape your approach to online dating, transforming fear and frustration into confidence and excitement. Lisa calls herself a love coach. So Lisa, can you tell us a little bit about what that is and how you got there, and then what we should know about finding love online? Okay, so I'll hand it over to you, Lisa.
Hi, everyone. It's really, really nice to meet all of you and to see you here. And I got into this because I was in a 24-year marriage and we divorced, and I took time to heal. I think it's really important when you get out of any relationship to take time to heal, because what happens is if you don't take that time to heal, you end up reattracting the same guy, or just in different clothes, different hair, different shoes, a different job and car. And you don't want to do that. So I took some time to heal. And when I did this, I was actually in my mid 40s then. And online dating wasn't that well known. It was kind of like, oh, I can't tell people I'm online. It was a little embarrassing. Um, so anyway, what happened is I did go online and I cried a lot because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I gave my power away everywhere. I was like so worried about what's he going to think about me versus is he good enough for me? And I was just scared. And I didn't have the right clothes for dating. I've been like a soccer mom sitting on the benches watching my kids playing sports. And I thought I was just really with it with my black jeans and some version of a million t-shirts from like Chico's or Dillard's or something. And I thought, I got this. I didn't. And my fake Birkenstocks back then, Lands' End had different color ones. So I thought I was just the bomb. Well, along comes that first date, and I'm standing in my closet and I'm going, what am I going to wear? What am I going to wear? Because I didn't feel good enough about myself. Because I had never done this. I was afraid. And I just did not have clothing that made me feel good. So even before you go online, you really want to have your confidence in place. It's so important because otherwise you're giving your power away. And this is sort of how I got into this, because the dates weren't going too well because I didn't know what I was doing. And I'd call my sister and I would say, as if she had a crystal ball, I'd say, oh my God, do you think he'll like me? Do you think he'll like me? And she would be, just be yourself, just be yourself. And I'm like, because we give our power away as women. We're people pleasers. As women, we use in general are people pleasers. So I gave my power away everywhere. And I did end up getting married the second time to the absolute wrong person. And what happened was I came out of that marriage. It was 2 years. It was based on hot chemistry.
Yeah.
Feels good because when we have sex with someone, we are actually releasing a hormone called oxytocin, that it's the bonding hormone, and we fall in lust, but we think it's love. So we were together 2 years. A friendship is missing. You spend a lot of time in bed, but the only thing he could talk about was, do you want to be buried next to me? And I'm like, I was in my early 50s then. I'm thinking, I'm not thinking about that now. So almost 2 years to the day we got married, we divorced. And I called my sister again, crying. And I said, because I went looking for a coach. I couldn't find a coach who was like over 40. And I was in my early 50s then. And so my sister said, "Oh, stop. You're so resourceful. You're going to figure this out." And I did. And then I started helping my friends. And then I realized how many people at our age were getting divorced. And I didn't want, and also losing spouses. And I didn't want another woman to have to sit there and cry and give their power away like I did. So, online dating is one of the biggest and most confusing places where you can give your power away because you might not know what's going on there. And one of the things I have my clients do is number one, like I said, get their confidence in place. What you want to do with that is you want to really look at yourself again and write a list of 10 things you love or are grateful for about your physical body. And make a second list of 10 things that you love about your personality. And then 10 things that you are good at. And then the thing you're most passionate about. Because one of the things we don't realize, or I didn't realize when I first started dating, is men are attracted to your inner glow, which is that passion. And when we've been in long marriages, we often give ourselves up to what the person we were with wanted. That's the bending like a pretzel syndrome to please. And what happens is you'll come out of that marriage and you kind of forgot who you were. So it's really important to get your passions back. And when you have those lists, pick up your phone and what's the little record thing on there? I think it's voice memo. And then get on there and start a recording that says, "Hey, can I share something with you about a friend of mine?" Then start reading those lists. Go, "My friend has beautiful eyes," and go all the way through and then listen back. You're going to be shocked what happens. I have women get really teary because no one's told them in a long time how amazing they really are. Now, I'm just touching briefly on a lot of things here to get ready to online date. So, the second thing about getting ready to date is you really want to understand who men are. So I had a relationship between those two husbands. It was a 2-year relationship. And as he was leaving, he said to me, "Lisa, you don't know how to let a man be a man." Anyone ever hear that before? Or anyone ever hear they're controlling? Or, okay. So I thought, you are full of it. I'd always gotten along with men. But the thing is there is a difference. These men go through phases in their lives. They actually go through sort of a form of male menopause that takes them to where they are in their 50s, who they are, and what they really want in their lives. It's why a lot of divorces happen, like from I'd say late 30s to early 50s, because men are changing. We're changing at the same time, going through that too, as we're going through menopause. And unless we can come back together, that's a time we separate and divorce. I know I can tell you now, looking back, once I learned this, that was what my first husband and I had happen. We grew apart and we just couldn't come back together because at that point our ideals were totally different. So the biggest thing about men you want to understand is they really at this age are much more chivalrous. And so what happened was in my first marriage, I was like, "I am woman, let me roar," because my ex-husband, the first one, I was in a position where he brought home the money and I did everything else. So I knew how to do a lot. He wasn't really doing things at home domestically. So I just got really powerful. And, we were taught in many ways. Women's Lib was absolutely fantastic for getting women into careers, and they should be paying them more, but getting them into careers and just out of being homemakers because we're smart. But what it also did was it piled a lot more onto us. And because we didn't give up a lot of the stuff we'd already been doing and sharing it with a partner. So along comes husband two, and I am so strong and so proud of it. And I kind of rubbed his nose in it. Really, I am woman, let me roar. And when that marriage ended, he too said, "You don't know how to let a man be a man." And that's what led me to studying men. And one of my favorite teachers is Allison Armstrong. She has studied men her whole life, and her insights into men are amazing. And they actually they feel contrary to what we may have grown up with, but they'll help you get your needs met by men. It's like magic. So I'm going to give you the 4 magic words that you want to use for men if you need something done. And this is really hard for us to say. I need your help. So what happens is we come from community. Men actually come from hero, triggering their hero response they want to fix for you. So it is very hard for us to say this, I need your help, because we think it makes us look weak. It actually makes you look strong because you trigger in a man, him wanting to step up and make sure your needs are met. So I remember my first husband saying to me, stop ordering me. And I'd say to him, what do you mean? I say to you, could you please help me with this? Well, I'll tell you why it sounds like, could you please help me with this? It's community for us. It's like if I said to you, could you please help me move this table? You would say, yes, of course, because you're thinking of what's best for the community. But a man hears someone else saying that, his mom,
Mom.
yeah, who used to say, honey, could you please take your shoes off the steps? Honey, could you please do this? I remember friends and I were at a conference and I was sitting with this guy because I've always been friends with guys. And they said, let's take our picture, Lisa. So I looked at him and I said, John, I need your help. Would you mind taking a picture of us? And you know what he said to me? Oh my God, I love when women need my help. I mean, this really works. And I had a client who was ready to throw up when I told her this. She was a very strong alpha female. And so am I, but dang, I was not getting my needs met. I was nagging. And so she was a very strong alpha female. She went on to a business thing with this general. She'd been trying to seal a deal, didn't work. She said, okay, I'm going to say I need your help. It nearly killed her. So she shook the general's hand. She says, General, I need your help. How can we make this work? She had that deal sealed in 10 minutes. They talked for another 30, and he said to her, if you need anything, please come to me. So you need to have this understanding men will step up for you. They really will. And you want to have an even deeper understanding. This is something that's my favorite thing to teach. It goes way deeper than this, but it'll help you with men. And make sure you thank them and appreciate them, okay? The third thing is you want to have a clear vision of who you want, because most people go online looking for their type. If your type worked, you'd be with him today. And when I work with women, we create what's called a quality man template, which is a clear vision of the right man. You want this in black and white because most people will say in their heads, I want someone who's successful, who's taller than me. How many people want a guy taller than them? I have so many women. Yeah. They're 4'11" and they want a 6-foot guy. And the reason for that is because height is an illusion. You think because a guy's taller than you, he can keep you safer, and it's not true necessarily. They can be your height, and they can even be shorter and be much safer than a tall guy. All right. So you need to have a really clear vision of who you want. And had I had this, I never would have married my second husband because that was total chemistry. He didn't have it. Another thing, you want to really look at your values. He and I did not share values. And you can have qualities. It's a wish list of what you want. But if he doesn't share your values, it's going to be hard to go through life together. I mean, because you can't work out things. Okay, so that's just brief on that. Let's get to online dating. So your profile, when you go online, needs to reflect that inner glow, and by saying a little about you. It needs to reflect your understanding of men, and you say a little about him. And it needs to reflect who you want in there as well, that clear vision. So, and that is maybe a little story of how, something you would do in the future. You want this thing short and sweet. Men's eyes glaze over pretty quickly. Many men don't read your profiles. They look at your pictures. So your pictures, they need to be amazing. They need to be good. Do not post pictures with other people in them. Be careful of posting pictures with animals. Men have this idea in their head that if you have a pet, um, you won't have time for them. Same with grandkids. You won't have time for them. And you don't need to have men knocking you out for stupid stuff like that. You could talk about that when you meet. You can say, I love pets. I have a pet. Just, be careful about posting too much with grandkids and pets. The other thing is, with the pictures, you want to wear something that makes you feel amazing. That when that camera's on you, you feel like, oh my God, I feel so good. So do a little shopping and put makeup on. Okay. There's nothing like lipstick that really pops your face or mascara. And you want to show your best assets. So if you have great boobs, show them, but don't show too much cleavage because you're giving an impression of a booty call. And that's not what you're looking for. If you have a great waist, wear something that shows that waist or legs. Show your best assets. We all have them. We don't necessarily think they're great, but they are. Show them. The other thing is don't get discouraged when you see men go, they're 65 and I'm going, I want a woman who's 35 to 45. Okay. Anyone see that before? You're going, well, most younger women are not going for these guys unless these guys are really wealthy or they have daddy issues. Okay. They feel like what they're doing is they're dating their dad or their grandpa. So don't get discouraged by that. The way you get around that is good pictures. You got about 10 seconds to get a guy's attention. And unfortunately, the apps the apps and the dating sites are very much about pictures. So have good pictures. And I hate to tell you this, professional pictures are often the best. You don't have to spend it. Kids can take good pictures. The thing you want them to do is turn the freaking flash on because our eyes sink, as we get older. We need that light to pop into our eyes. We really do. And kids are like, oh, no, you look good how you are. And I'm like, thank you. But I know I need the light. My eyes look about this big when light's not coming in. So you want that light to come in. All right. So you're going to go on a site. What do you do? Where do you go? Well, a great way to dip your toe in the water is Bumble. It's free. They're going to try and charge you for it. You don't have to pay for it. The only thing when you pay for it is I think they show you more often and they'll show you who looked at you and liked you. Well, there's a lot of schlumps on Bumble that you don't really care if they looked at you. So start out by not paying. You can change that. Also, when you travel on Bumble, your Bumble app travels with you. And so if if you live in Ohio and you're going to California, you're going to get a California guys when you're in California. Just be aware of that. Free dating sites are out there. They're a great way to get your toe, to dip your toe in the dating pool and to see how your profile's coming across in your pictures. You have to do a lot more weeding. And by having that clear vision, you always want to keep that close by so you don't knock guys out for the wrong reasons. The guy with 25 toilets behind him because he took a selfie in the public bathroom. Yeah, bye-bye. But because a guy has a Senior Frog t-shirt or a sports thing on this wall or whatever, you want to, that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for those values, okay? When you do go online, start to look for good because a lot of times we really focus on the bad. And when you're focused on that bad, you're knocking good guys out because the bad comes from your fear. You might get hurt again. So you start protecting yourself. So that's the same with a date. Go on a date and look for 3 good things about a guy. Everybody's got stuff. You got stuff. I got stuff. We all got stuff. But we go on these dates and we knock people off really fast. And you just want to be careful of that because you could miss really good guys. I know I have a guy friend and he's been having the hardest time finding someone online. And I said, do you think, and he had a woman he was with a long time. She passed away. And I said, do you think you're going out there and you're looking for that immediate connection like you had, like the connection you had with her? He said, probably. And I said, well, I remember you telling me the story. She used to just come and hang out with you. This did not start out as a huge connection thing. And that's why you want to give good guys a chance. Don't use chemistry as a barometer. It is nothing more than, like I told you, a hormone. Also, when you have a lot of chemistry with a guy, you feel like you can trust them. It doesn't mean you can't. Okay. All right. So you're on, oh, you can use paid sites. A lot of my clients have actually done quite well on Match. You definitely want to pay for Match. Okay. Get the extras with it because there's a lot of people on Match. Also, the frustrating thing is there's a lot of people that don't pay, so they can't write to you. And always favors guys on the site. I've had people do pretty well on Zeus and our time too, but Match is the number one for them. But I will tell you, in some parts of the country, it doesn't work. So get the least expensive membership to it that you can. Okay, so you're out there and you got an email that says, hello, beautiful. And it's from a really handsome guy. Okay. It goes, hello, beautiful. I saw your picture and I just thought you looked amazing and I would love to connect with you, blah, 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 blah. Chances are you're dealing with a scammer. Now, here's what's hard about a scammer today. Back in the old days, they're usually from Africa. That's how they make a living. Okay. And back in the day, they would get you on the phone right away because they have beautiful English accents. And as Americans, we like an English accent. We're pulled into it. Today, they use, AI technology, Chat GPT. It's free. They can write anything they want to you. And if it sounds too good to be true and it has a lot of adjectives in it, I guarantee you that is a scammer. Because guys don't use a lot of adjectives, normal guys, they don't use it. Also, a way to protect yourself from scams is you want to keep emails, the first few emails, pretty short, like 5 to 10 max between the two of you, because you don't want to get in discussions via email. I know a lot of people go, oh, I've got to vet them in email. No, you don't want to vet them in email. And the reason is you're creating an illusionary relationship because it's all based on how you are bringing that, what they're saying into your mind. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody? Does anyone need more clarity on that? If you do, tell me. I don't want to move over until this is done. All right. So 5 to 10 emails, short and sweet, flirty. Then say to him either, you know what, especially if he asks you what's your philosophy of life or tell me more about your family, you want to say something like, it would be so much easier to do this if we could either talk or meet. You're not asking him out. You're leading him to ask you out. You can also say it would be so nice to put a voice to these texts or a face to these texts. And I also suggest getting a Google phone number. You do need to tell them it's a Google phone number because it's not traceable and you don't want them thinking you're a scammer. Um, they're free. You can look up Google phone numbers. You need to create a separate Gmail account. Do not put your last name on it. And do not, when Gmail says, if there's, God forbid, a catastrophe, how else can we reach you? Leave it blank. Has anybody in all these years with technology had their email go down? No. That's their way of tracking. So, and you use that with the Google Voice. All right, you get to the phone. 1, call if you feel you need it. 2 at the most. You don't want to get too involved with somebody that you don't know. You share too much, and you really want to get to that meet and greet within 2 weeks of meeting. I'm sorry, 2 weeks of initial contact. Beyond that, you could be with a scammer. And if a guy says, well, I'm out of town and I'll be back, say, reach out to me when you're back. Because they scammers can hook you. I mean, really hook you. I was on the Dr. Phil episode. They reached out to me to see if I would come on, and it was about scammers. And I was supposed to be on longer, got all messed up, but I was on for about 5 to 7 minutes. And it was fascinating watching these women who believe these men were really scammers and they give them millions of dollars that wipe them out. You don't want to get connected to these men. And you want to meet someone, like I said, within 2 weeks. Okay, I'll stop there so we can do questions. And believe it or not, I've given you a lot, but this is really just the tip of the iceberg for how to find a guy.
Thank you so much to Lisa for those fantastic suggestions that you can start putting into action right away. Let's quickly recap the 4 essential steps. First, build your confidence. Know your worth. Love everything about what makes you unique. Second, understand men and what genuinely appeals to them while staying true to yourself. Third, have a clear vision of what you want in a relationship. And then fourth, now you're ready to go online and find that relationship. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and also check out Lisa's website at findequalityman.com. All the information is in the notes below. Stay tuned and get ready to recharge your love life.